Are you drowning in undone projects? Do you keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes? Are you wondering what happened to 2020? I know I am. It's time for me to get off my butt, get back on track, and restart 2020. I'll share 5 steps to make you more productive the rest of the year, starting today. Let's go. Hi, I'm Bonnie Overman. I want to thank you for joining me today. Today is my very first YouTube video, and I know it probably shows, but I'm so excited, and I really hope my channel will help you learn more, do more, and be more at any age. And in case you're wondering, I'll be 70 years old next year. I don't know how that happened. If you would like to hit the subscribe button and also comment, I'd like to know kind of what your struggles are, what you've been going through, and please like my video. So let's get to the 5 steps. Your first step is going to be to create a list. It's hard to accomplish anything when you really don't know what you're trying to do, or just keeping it in your head doesn't make it happen. So I want you to write down a list of 5 things. I don't want you to make it too long. I want you to make this project something that is going to be satisfying and able to accomplish it, not something that's going to be very frustrating. And I remember all the years I was in outside sales, they'd always set our goals so high, it was almost impossible to reach them. And I don't want this. I want this to be very doable for you. So 5 things, I would prioritize them. You know, number 1 is the most important and go down from there. And if you're having trouble thinking of 5 things you really want to do, you might want to take a look at January when you made your New Year's resolutions. Or where are you today with everything that's going on? Are you needing to look for a new job or redo your resume? There's lots of things that you can put on the list. And if you do the 5 things, then we're going to put on some more before the end of the year. So what I want to do is I want to share with you my list, so you kind of have a feeling for what I'm kind of going through too, and I'm sure we're all going through the same type of things. But number 1, I wanted to start a YouTube channel, which I am in the process of doing now. Number 2 is to exercise. I used to work full-time, and I was fairly active in my job, and now I'm not back at work yet. And I really feel it, you know, I'm not up and about all day like I was. And you put that on top of not exercising to start with, and I really need to get back into moving my body and working out again. Number 3 is I'm sick and tired of trying to find documents, papers, and photos that I'm looking for. For example, could you put your finger on your birth certificate right now, or your passport, or an important photo you want to look for? If you're having trouble with that, you might want to consider putting that on your list like I have. That was one of my resolutions actually in January. My next one is to clean out and declutter my storage. I have a lot of storage units on my property, and I'll get to that in another video, why I have so much storage. But we all have little things, and I would really put on your list things that really drive you crazy. You know, the black hole under your sink, or the closet, you open up the doors, everything falls on your head. It's so frustrating to live with this day to day. Put it on your list. And my very last one was to start a blog, which I still have to get into doing that. That might wait. So, okay, we have our list now, but we have to go one step further. And what we really need to do is we need to now take what we want to do by the end of the year and put it in small pieces so we can accomplish one little step towards that goal every day in our daily planning. Now, so let's talk about daily planning. So number 1 I recommend is please do your daily planning the night before. If you're anything like me, by the time you get up, have some caffeine, you feed your animals or your children, it's like 11 o'clock, almost time for lunch already. So it's like, do it the night before. So when you get up, you get out of bed, you've got something, a goal to go right towards, and it will kind of put off that lazy activity I've done where I get up, I'm on YouTube and then forget about it. So pick 1 to 3 of those things that are on your to-do list. Now, I know you're all in different situations. I have not gone back to work, so I have all the time in the world. I have all day. So I'm going to pick 3 things every day to work towards my goal. Now, even if you're at home and you're working, or you're just at home with kids and that's a very important job to do, you might not have the time to do 3 things, but then make it 2 things. And if you're back to work, you might just be able to do 1 thing, and that's fine too. We're just going to eat away at this just a little bit at a time. So I want you to stay very flexible. If you don't feel well one day, or an emergency comes up and you can't do these things, be kind to yourself. I don't want you beating yourself up and saying, oh, forget about it then, which I tend to do, especially in exercise. But just put it onto the next day's to-do list and customize it towards yourself. You know what you want to do. You might even want to, one of the things you might want to do is just to create every day a special time with your kids or your family. You might be crafts or story time or things like that. So really make this specific towards you. Now, I want you to stay till the end of the video because I have a little 6th tip, which brings me a lot of joy. You might think I'm crazy, but I think it's very cool. So number 1 is to make your list. Number 2 is to pick the things you want to do every day. And then actually, we're going to put them into your daily list. So whether it's a to-do list, on your planner, on your phone, I want you to actually set up a times to do these things. And that's number 3. Now I'm calling this section time capsules. And the reason why is because picture like a little capsule of time. And when you're doing a task in that capsule, you are super hyper focused. You're not going to take the phone call from your girlfriend that, you're going to talk an hour. You're not going to get distracted and start doing other things. This is just to get the task done that you have put down for yourself. So we talked about 1 to 3 things we're going to do every day. So we're going to have 1 to 3 time capsules. So I just want to show you what mine looks like. So I made it like a little capsule. And what I want you to do is I want you to make it a time capsule. So that means you're delegating a particular time towards this. It could be 5 minutes, clear up to an hour or 2 hours, whatever task you're doing. So make sure that you specifically say what you're going to do, and you're going to give yourself 15 minutes or 10 minutes, and you're going to start and you're going to stop. Now, if you go farther than that, there's really not too much wrong with that. You're going to get more done. But you go in knowing you're only going to dedicate 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is to this project. So put it on your phone, in your planner, or on your to-do list, and make them little bubbles, because if you just write down, I'm going to exercise at 8 o'clock. Well, how long are you going to exercise for? You got to set that time aside. It's really important. So you're going to have your topic and your detail. So for example, for me, it could be YouTube, and then I'm going to do a bigger capsule, right? And it's going to be scripting or editing or whatever it is. If it's, to finish cleaning out the garage, I might schedule, 20 minutes for that one. I'm going to make all my capsules about 20 minutes. And so that way you're going to have these things every day. And like I said, if something comes up and you just cannot do it, put it in tomorrow. We have a lot of time now. So, okay. So we made our list. We decided we're going to do a daily plan now. We're going to just start it the night before. And we want to then use a time capsule to actually section off time that we are going to do a particular project. It could be the same project every day. It could be a different one every day. It all depends on what you want to get done, and make it so it's attainable. I think that's really important. Number 4, and I know you've heard both these things before, but they're very important. It's getting up at a reasonable time, okay? Because I can stay in bed and fall back asleep over and over and think about things, and I just love to lay there and relax. And all of a sudden it's 10:30. So I need to make sure that when I'm on my productive days, and we'll talk about this at the end, which is Monday through Thursday for me, that I get up at an early time. And so the first thing I do when I get up, of course, is exercise. But make sure, because otherwise it just, your day is gone. Even a couple hours makes a big difference. So that's really important. And so number 2 is to make your bed. And I know you've heard this 9 million times, but I really thought about it. It has a lot of psychological implications, I think. So stick with me here. So 3 reasons why it's important. Number 1, of course, you've heard this. This is a sense of accomplishment. You know, I try to keep my bedroom very picked up. So in the morning when I make my bed and I walk out of my room, I have the feeling that one room's done in my house. I don't have to come back and mess with it and try and clean it up. It's done. It's neat. My bed looks really neat with all my pillows on it, that type of thing. Number 2, it signifies the end of nighttime. You know, when I'm straightening my bed and I'm putting my sheets over and my comforter, to me it's like closing the door on nighttime, because you want to open the door for daytime and activity. So I think it's kind of a psychological thing. It's very hard to get back in bed once it's made. So it's kind of signaling you to move forward with your day. The third reason I think it's so important is because you have a nighttime routine. I know I do, where I kind of start to wind down and relax. And this really helps me, because when I go in, I turn on my air conditioning in my bedroom, my fan, my TV, and I turn down my bed. And that signals me, my body, to kind of relax, and you're going to get to sleep and just take all the weight off your muscles. It feels so good. So that's why I think making your bed is so important. It helps with starting your daytime routine and starting your nighttime routine. Okay, number 5. This is the best one. The best one. Let me toot my horn. Reward yourself. If you get to the point where you have done all your little capsules in the day, I want you to reward yourself and make it whatever you want. Make it Netflix or YouTube, or if you want to paint or craft or do stuff with the kids. Give yourself at least a half hour to an hour of reward. It's a good feeling that you've accomplished something, and now you're going to reward yourself. And try not to make it a bag of chips or a bag of cookies, because that does nothing towards your health. By the way, that's my next video, 5 healthy habits. So reward yourself. Okay, so I want to share my last 6th tip with you. And I know this sounds so bizarre. My whole life, I've worked so hard, over 50 years, with hardly any vacations. And I've always had Saturday and Sunday off. And I always dreamt about having a 3-day weekend. How cool would a 3-day weekend be? And then my last job I had 1 day off during the week and a Sunday off. And so for me, I couldn't even start to relax or get things done. I had to get ready for work the next day. So what I'm doing for myself is, as a reward for being so conscientious and getting up early and getting to work and getting things accomplished Monday through Thursday, I'm giving myself a 3-day weekend. All on my own. I'm so proud. It just makes me smile. I realize now for the first time that I'm actually back in charge of my life again. So if you can give yourself a 3-day weekend, please do it. I really hope you enjoyed this tip that I've given you. I hope you enjoyed the other 5 tips. Please subscribe, comment below, and I will see you next week in the next video.